be seated? The Passion of our Lord Jesus Christ according to John. Nicodemus, the one who had first come to him at night, also came, bringing a mixture of myrrh and aloes, weighing about 100 pounds. They took the body of Jesus and bound it with burial cloths along with the spices, according to the Jewish burial custom. Now in that place where he had been crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new tomb, in which no one had yet been buried. So they laid Jesus there because of the Jewish preparation day, for the tomb was close by.
Today, my friends, the chips are down. On Good Friday, you cannot avoid the Christian issue. At Christmas, we can dream of angels and a star, of a teenage mother, and of an infant in a manger. On Easter Sunday, we will be glad and rejoice because God and goodness have risen from the grave. But today there is no dreaming. Today there is little rejoicing. Today you come face to face with the primary Christian symbol. And that symbol is a cross. So may we briefly look at some facts and then ask what those facts say to us. We begin with 5 facts. First, God died. On that somber afternoon, over 2,000 years ago, your God and my God died. Now, I know death can't destroy divinity. The Trinity was not suddenly only 2 persons. And still it's true. God died. On the cross of Calvary, there was only one person, and he was God. And he died. Second fact, Jesus really suffered. Don't fictionalize Calvary. Don't imagine that because Jesus was God, he felt less pain than we do. If anything, he suffered more intensely. He was more sensitive, more alive to everything human. Real thorns crowned his head. It was warm spit that splattered his face. It was a tough whip that made his back flinch. There were sharp nails that pierced his hands and feet. The blood on the ground below the cross was his. Into your hands I commend my spirit was really his last breath. Third fact, Jesus suffered and died for us. We listen to St. Paul's almost unbelieving whisper. The Son of God gave himself for me, Paul said. The Son of God gave himself for me. He died for Adam, He died for Judas. He died for both thieves who were crucified with him, even if one of them kept cursing him. And he died for you and me. He died for every sinner and every sin from the Garden of Eden to his final coming. Fourth fact. Jesus died for me because he loved me. He did not have to die. He did not die because there was no other choice. It's difficult to accept that God should die for love of me. But the fact is, Jesus died because he loved me. Fifth fact. By his death, Jesus gave me life. His ultimate self-giving on Calvary climaxed a totally generous life, a life-giving life. Without his death, I would be dead. And I mean by that, I would be without faith, without hope, without love, and without joy. God died a painful death for me out of love to give me life. What do these facts say? They tell us in a word of the cross. Not his cross, but ours. Not on Calvary, but here and now. The words of Jesus are rough, raw, uncompromising. If you want to follow him, if you want to be his disciple, you have to take up your cross daily. If you want to save your life, you must lose it for the sake of Christ. The point is that salvation is indeed God's free gift, but is not automatic. The cross of Christ has to be touched to me personally, individually. And it is touched to me in several ways. Through the death that is my baptism, and through the Eucharist that recaptures the death of Christ until he comes. But also in a special way through my own cross, without which I cannot be his disciple. Like the life of Christ, my own life has to be a ceaselessly dying and rising. Christian life, all Christian living, is a ceaseless movement to life through death. Everyday death. The problem is, what does this mean? What is this cross that you must take up daily? It's easy enough to find the cross elsewhere, in the hungers of Africa and Latin America, in the streets of Ukraine, in the Gaza Strip, among the homeless in Albuquerque and elsewhere. But where is your sharing in the Passion of Christ? I'm afraid I cannot tell you. You are, each of you, in authority on your own Calvary. And I dare not lay a cross on you. I can only provoke you into thinking through some questions like, what do you usually avoid? And whom do you avoid? Are you built only for comfort? Do you ever fast except to lose weight? What keeps you from being holy, from being like St. Paul and Mother Teresa and Jesus? What matters most in your life? If you had to confess what you want most out of human living, would it have anything to do with the crucified Lord? Where does he rank in your top 10? How do you handle illness, from the common cold to the threat of cancer? What are you afraid of? Death? Life? In whom do you see Christ? Only in those you like or who like you? To whom do you give bread and drink? To the hungry and thirsty, or the well-off, well-fed, and well-oiled? When did you last welcome a stranger or give clothes to the naked? Who are the sick that you visit? What prisoners of body and mind have seen your face? What threatens Catholicism is our lukewarmness. Jesus Christ simply does not turn us on like other people or events do. And so as a Christian, you and I are called to live day after day the dying and rising that Holy Week symbolizes. It's not enough to celebrate Good Friday once a year, remembering the crucifixion. This Good Friday liturgy expresses in word and symbol what goes on in the rest of our lives. Does this remembrance of the crucifixion say what goes on in the rest of your life? Where, my friends, where is your Good Friday? Where does the cross identify you as a disciple of Jesus?